So if we want to break down that one cost, so this is from that same Lawrence Berkeley report that we'll be looking at later. But here they looked at just one specific sector of these so-called soft costs. It's what's called customer acquisition costs. And really that's basically sales. That's going out there, finding a customer, getting in front of them, making a proposal, and getting him to say yes. What is involved in doing that? And what they found that in the United States, the average cost per system was around almost 70 cents per watt, which on a typical system implies, $2,000 to $4,000 of costs here. Looking at similar systems in Germany, they found that customer acquisition costs were about 7 cents per watt, which is just, a couple of $100 really. We'll dive into kind of the report here and look at some of the reasons why this is the case. But one thing I'd go ahead and point out is this one area here, the single biggest contributor to these large sort of customer acquisition costs in the United States was what's called non-project specific marketing and advertising. So not necessarily marketing or selling to the specific owner or project. That's just what you're generally spending as an installer on sales and marketing. And we'll start to peel back some of the reasons for that, but primarily in the United States compared to Germany. The reason this is the case is because of really a lack of customer information. Still today in the United States, most homeowners don't know a heck of a lot about solar. Most business owners don't know a lot about solar. They couldn't tell you what it costs. They couldn't tell you how it works. They couldn't tell you what's involved or how efficient it is or, how long it lasts or anything. There's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and just complete lack of information out there. And so what a lot of solar installers do here in the United States even today is we spend a lot of time just educating customers. That's a big part of the sales effort. And that's a big part of what, why we're in this course today is so that we can sort of talk the talk with our solar customers and understand some of the strategies and how to kind of introduce them to the concept of solar. In Germany, where they've been doing solar for a lot longer, you don't have this problem. If a customer, most Germans already sort of know a lot about solar, and if they don't, they can just, pop their head over the fence and ask their neighbor. They can go to work and ask their coworker. They can ask their family member, their brother, their sister who has solar. Hey, who'd you call? And so word of mouth and that kind of customer sort of self-acquired knowledge goes a lot farther in Germany than here in the United States. So the reason I wanted to bring this slide up and bring up this massive disparity between where we are in the United States versus where Germany is and where we could be after several more years of steady growth in solar is that, you're all guys here interested in PV technical sales. And really what you're looking at here is the value creation that you offer to both the customer and the installer in trying to reduce these costs. What you're basically saying as the technical salesperson is, let me come in and address some of this stuff. Let me come in and help acquire customers, close projects, make proposals, do designs, and get your guys working. There's a big value to both the installer and being able to reduce costs and to the homeowner and being able to eventually see lower and lower install costs. So that's kind of the value proposition. There's about 50 cents on the watt right now that pretty much goes to technical sales. And that's where the value is, that's where the value creation is. And that's why there's a big need right now for more people to be involved in this kind of work. Addressing things like design, customer acquisition, customer education, and then sort of moving the project along through the various processes of permitting and applications and rebate applications and interconnection agreements and power purchase agreements. That kind of is where I wanted to kind of to finally kind of sum up on this particular presentation, was to kind of give you guys a look at what it is we want to accomplish over the next 8 weeks, is to make sure that you guys have the knowledge, the tools, the understanding, and the resources to be able to go out there as an installer or working for an installer and say, let me help you with this big customer acquisition problem. Let me help you with how to get out there, engage with customers, generate designs and proposals, and get these systems sold and installed as efficiently as possible, because there's a lot of value to be created on a project level and industry-wide in helping to address some of these costs and serve as an interface between a lot of homeowners and business owners out there who just don't know a lot about solar and may be perfect solar customers, but they just don't know it. And be able to interface them with the installer who can get that project done, but needs to engage with that customer in kind of a meaningful way. So that kind of brings us to the top of the hour now, 7 o'clock. So we'll kind of keep this to a 1 hour session at this point too. If there's any questions, again, the best way to get questions to us during these live sessions is actually through the chat log in the GoToMeeting toolbar on your screen. Or if you like, you can go into the 250E course and send me a message through the course, or send me an email as well, and I'll be happy to answer that as soon as I can.
And in terms of what we want them to do.
Yeah, so once you've gotten access and logged on to the course, what you'll see available is the first 2 sections of the class. A lot of the slide presentation that you saw just now, as well as some of the background material, is uploaded into section 1. So if you want to do some further reading, one thing that I want you guys to look at, and I'll go ahead and highlight this right now, in section 1, it's actually section 1.3 of the course. I want you to particularly take a look at this first document, which is a survey on U.S. homeowners, basically asking, it was 1,400 homeowners were polled in a national survey, basically about solar, about clean energy, about efficiency improvements and things like that. And there are some really remarkable kind of revelations in there. And so from a technical sales standpoint, if you really want to get to know your customer and know your target audience, this is a really good resource. I read through it. It's very enlightening. I learned a bunch of interesting things. So one of your assignments for the coming week is going to be to jump in here, check out some of these resources, but in particular, definitely make sure you check out that document, because we're going to be looking at that and looking at some of those survey questions and what they mean in terms of what we need to be doing as technical sales professionals in addressing and engaging with customers. So check out the U.S. Homeowners on Clean Energy Survey. And additionally, if you want to see the Lawrence Berkeley report that we were just taking a look at, a lot of that data, that's called Tracking the Sun 2013, that's also available for you to look at. Excellent report. I just lifted a few of the slides there, but it's an excellent read. So definitely take a look at that, as well as the IREC, which is the Interstate Renewable Energy Council Market Trends Report. So really kind of the assignment, for now is just to kind of do some reading, start to get some up-to-date from some of these publications, see where our current install costs are, see where the industry is going and where it's heading, where the growth sectors are and things like that. So check out Tracking the Sun, check out the Homeowner Survey, and definitely check out the IREC Market Trends Report. We also have some previously recorded video presentations if you check here. So this video presentation that I'm highlighting is actually one that was recorded previously during a previous PV250E course. This video presentation that you're seeing right now will be available for review in another couple of days once we get it compiled and edited and uploaded on the site. So if you want to take another look at this video presentation, it'll be available in that section sometime this week. And if you like, we'll be covering this stuff next week and issuing some assignments, but you can go ahead and jump into the section on utility rate structures. Again, there's some existing videos that you can watch from some of our previous material, as well as some resources and slide presentations for you to download. So next week topic, we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna be talking about utility rate structures. What is the cost of electricity? How do I find the cost of electricity? How do I predict the cost of electricity for my customers over the next 5, 10, 15 years, which is a very tricky business. And we're also going to be looking at some of the incentives out there, tax credits, rebates, performance-based incentives, things like that, and show, how do we get that information and how do we start to bring it into some of our cost models. So that's all I have for kind of formal lecture for tonight. Check out some of those resources, maybe take a sneak peek at some of next week's material, and we'll see you again next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and we'll jump into electricity rates and PV incentives.